The last bell at Ravenwood High. The last day of senior year was supposed to end with graduation rehearsal. Instead, it became the night 4 students swore they would never speak about again. Graduation rehearsal ended just before sunset. Parents left. Teachers locked their classrooms. The parking lot slowly emptied. Only 4 seniors remained inside Ravenwood High School. Tyler, Emily, Lucas, and Hannah. They stayed behind to finish decorating the auditorium for graduation the next morning. The principal thanked them before leaving. The janitor waved goodbye. By 7:30, the school was completely empty. Outside, heavy rain pounded against the windows. Thunder shook the building. Everything felt normal, until every light suddenly went out. The entire school fell into darkness. A second later, the emergency lights switched on. The hallways glowed with a deep red light. Emily laughed nervously. Guess the storm killed the power. Nobody answered. Then, the school bell rang. The sound echoed through every hallway. Everyone froze. The electricity was gone. The bell shouldn't have worked. 5 seconds later, it rang again. This time, much louder. Lucas grabbed his backpack. "I'm done, let's leave." They hurried toward the main entrance. The doors wouldn't open. They pushed harder. Nothing. Every emergency exit was locked. Every window refused to budge. Tyler checked his phone. No signal. Emily checked hers. Nothing. No internet. No GPS. No service. Rain hammered the glass outside so hard they could barely see the parking lot. Then, footsteps. Hundreds of them, running somewhere above their heads. The ceiling vibrated. Lockers slammed. Students laughed. Backpacks hit the floor. It sounded exactly like school changing classes. The only problem: Ravenwood High only had 2 floors. They were already standing on the second. There was nothing above them. The running continued. Then, silence. Complete silence. Nobody moved. Tyler slowly opened the nearby stairwell door. The stairs were gone. Beyond the doorway was another hallway. Long, dark, endless, filled with old lockers. The hallway definitely hadn't been there before. He slammed the door shut. Everyone stared at each other. Then, the intercom crackled. Static filled the building. A calm woman's voice whispered, "Students, return to your classrooms." The announcement repeated. Again, again, each time sounding closer. As if she wasn't speaking through the speakers anymore. As if she was standing somewhere nearby. Then every locker around them slammed shut. Bang, 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 bang. One locker slowly creaked open. Inside, a teenage girl stood perfectly still. She wore an old Ravenwood High uniform. Her skin was pale. Her hair covered her face. She didn't move. She didn't breathe. The locker door slowly closed. Nobody waited to see more. They ran. As they rounded a corner, they stopped. Dozens of students stood in the hallway, perfectly still. Everyone wore graduation gowns. Every head faced the floor. The hallway was completely silent. Emily whispered, Are those people real? The nearest student slowly lifted its head. Then every other student did the same. At exactly the same time. Every face was white. Every eye was completely black. Every mouth stretched into a smile far too wide to be human. Without making a sound, they started walking forward. Slowly, Tyler yelled, "Run!" The 4 seniors sprinted toward the library. They slammed the doors shut behind them. Silence. For a moment, nothing happened. Then, one book fell from a shelf. Another. Soon hundreds of books were crashing onto the floor. Every book landed open. Every page was completely blank. A whisper floated through the shelves. "Hide." Another whisper answered. "They're coming." The voices sounded like dozens of children speaking together. The library lights began flickering. A chair slowly slid across the floor by itself. Then another. The library doors burst open. The hallway outside was empty. The ghosts were gone. Tyler didn't trust it. Neither did anyone else. They ran again. The school no longer looked familiar. Hallways were longer. Doors had disappeared. Classroom numbers changed every time they looked away. Every clock now read exactly 3:33, even though their phones still showed 8:41 p.m. Then something scratched the wall beside them. Slowly, like fingernails dragging through paint. The scratching followed them, inside the walls, keeping pace with every step. Whatever it was moving with them. They reached the gym. They rushed inside. The doors slammed shut behind them. A basketball rolled across the court. By itself, then another. Then every basketball began bouncing, echoing through the empty gym. The scoreboard suddenly turned on. It displayed only 3 words. "Do not stop." The lights went out. When they returned, the graduation students were standing across the basketball court. There were hundreds now, perfectly still, watching. Then every head tilted sideways, at the exact same angle, and they began running. The 4 seniors fled through a maintenance hallway. The whispers became screams. Every classroom door burst open. Ghostly students stepped into the corridors. Some crawled across the ceiling. Others stood inside classrooms, facing the walls. One teacher stood at the end of the hallway, writing on a chalkboard. Without turning around, she said, "I know you're here." The chalk stopped moving. Then, her head slowly turned all the way around. Her body never moved. Only her head. The 4 friends ran faster than ever. Ahead, the main entrance. Morning sunlight poured through the glass doors. The storm was gone. The locks clicked. The doors slowly opened. Behind them, thousands of footsteps thundered through the school. The ghosts were charging. The 4 seniors threw themselves outside, just as the first rays of sunlight reached the entrance. Everything instantly went silent. They turned around. Ravenwood High School looked completely normal. Teachers were unlocking classrooms. Parents were carrying flowers. Students laughed as they arrived for graduation. There wasn't a single sign that anything had happened. Police searched the school later that morning. Nothing was unusual. No damaged hallways. No strange classrooms. No ghosts. No evidence. The four seniors graduated that afternoon. They never told anyone what really happened. Years later, all four still wake up at exactly 3:33 a.m., and every single one of them says they can still hear the school bell